it's unique. There's nothing like it. I always say, I'm proud to be from Cape York because we're pretty lucky. We have the sea country and we have the mountain countries and we have all the water country and the land, It's a remarkable place, that's what my paintings are about. It's representing that, representing all those stories, and underneath it all, embedded in it, is our culture. And that's what makes Cape York unique.
Well, it's home for one, and for me and for us, we're in a unique situation where our family has never left this area. So people have been moved to missions and to reserves, and we've never left. So if you jumped in a time capsule and went back 30,000, 40,000 years, the same DNA in those people living there, you could trace it in right now. We've never ever left this area, and to still be here today, thousands of years later, and appreciating the land for what it is today, it gives you a sense of empowerment that my ancestors are buried here, and I'll be buried here one day.
I feel that my art is important because it is preserving stories that have been passed down to me. It's recording cultural places and significant places on country and from my saltwater side. It's a new way of preserving country. It's always been preserved through the arts. We're just taking it to a broader, through my profile. I'm reaching out to a broader audience. It's something that I grew up with, and it always comes back to respecting the land and the water. That's why we have songs about it. That's why we create songs. That's why we create dance. It always goes back to looking after country and keeping culture strong. And that's what my art is about.
You just feel free, alive out here. When you just out on country, you just feel them all people with you, Like especially when you're out taking them young fella hunting and whatnot, even this working out on country.
So I can't describe the feelings. Just feel happy, good in the inside, You just love doing what you're doing, working, coming out on country, working.
I think it's one of the single biggest achievements that we can genuinely celebrate is that reconnection and not having lost any connection to country, and seeing the next generation out there living and working on country. I mean, what more can you ask for? Your traditional owners living, earning money and working on their country.
Not only working, but you're having fun out on country, and it's good stuff. Especially like pigs where I had damaged the countryside when they feeding and all that, especially big groups, and it's good to look after country, especially from them feral pigs and other feral elements. Throughout the years in the past, we were monitoring the pigs with collars with trackers in them, and during the dry season they like to come here and like to relax in the cool spots where it keeps all the water. It was get hot out here up in Cape York.
We need to look beyond having just land management rangers. We need to have our own researchers, our own scientists. At the moment, we partner up with a lot of institutions, CSIRO, James Cook University, Charles Darwin. Most of the big institutions, we partner up with them, and a lot of the researchers that come out are all non-Indigenous people. how do we get our mob into that space to be researchers, and we pay them to do the research on our own country. So that's kind of the next phase of seeing those young fellas today working and living on country. How do we get the next generation to go to university and to be the researchers and the scientists?
You know, my photography started here on country, photographing the ranges here. And then from there, moving from country and into the community, following the boys, the rangers into their homes, and they were much welcoming. And then got invited to go along to the men's group. And they were talking about, you know, their frustrations and, you know, every time we go down into the city, you know, when we go into the store, we get looked upon differently and we get followed around, and they were venting that, and I couldn't help but to say, you know, this is something the world need to know who these boys are. You know, these are young men, proud young men with degrees who are contributing to society, and this is how they're getting treated. No, it's not right. So my photograph is about showing them in the light that they deserve and who they really are. And I think for them too, like the families, especially the young fellas, you know, you see them, the young black men out here. I think they were tired too of being portrayed in a light that weren't showing reality, who they really were, where they came from, what they believe in, who they are. You know, they're proud Indigenous young men looking after their country, and they wanted to share it. They're their own narrative. They tell their own stories. I'm just the, you know, I'm just the person behind the camera, you know, using this tool to share it with the rest of the country, with the rest of the world.
Elders are very important, you know. Most of the stuff we know is passed down from them. Our elders, it's good. I hope like next generation can ask elders and keep learning. I will hopefully don't get too old too soon, and hopefully I can pass whatever knowledge the elders pass on to me, I can pass on to the next generation. So when I'm old and gone, you know, they can pass it to the next generation.
You know, my grandfather always said, you know, never stop telling our stories. I don't care how you tell them, you know, I'm going to always support you and love you for who you are and how you tell it, but it's most importantly, never stop telling your stories.